Welcome to another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast, featuring the almighty B Live, the money man Scottie D, and your host, the head of creative, Eddy Cool. The Sports Bros Podcast is a sports podcast that's by the fans, for the fans, talking sports just the way you like it. And without any further ado, let's give it up for the Sports Bros. You know what time it is. It is time once again for your favorite sports podcast, none other than the Sports Bros Podcast. Now, I know when you first clicked that button, you was like, wait a minute, what happened to the old theme song? Well, as you know, we grow, we evolve, and we do things to keep up with the times, but nevertheless, you still get three bros talking sports just the way you like it. And of course, you know I can't do this by myself. I have two of the best co-hosts in the world. Introducing, well, before we do that, fellas, let's wave. We hadn't waved at them in a while. Yeah, there we go. Got to get a wave on. If you can see us on YouTube, we are waving at you, baby. All right, with that being said, I have two of the best co-hosts in the world. Introducing first, the almighty B Live.
What's happening? What's going on in the world today? Every single week is something new, something different, something crazy, and we're going to bring it to you. And then we're going to have the other guy who's part of the program, you know, a little balance. And I don't know what he's doing. I can see something that he's doing off screen, but yeah, I guess this is how we're going to start things there, guys. So go ahead and introduce that other guy on the show. All right.
Speaking into your screen in HD 1080, if you will, the pride of Washington, Pennsylvania, live on location in the beautiful state of South Carolina by way of Myrtle Beach, the money man, Scottie D.
I believe I can fly.
Wow.
I believe I can touch the sky.
Oh, no.
Think about it every night and day.
Are we allowed to sing that song now?
Wings and fly away. Oh man, I saw the new Space Jam. I didn't see the old, so I don't know what song I got going on in the new Space Jam. So I'm in a Space Jammy kind of mood here today.
And look, I'm in the Space Jam type of mood as well because I just recently saw it. And look, I'm gonna go ahead and say this for the people out there: just calm down. Like I'm gonna steal this from Eddy Cool. Tranquilo. It's for kids. Hey, LeBron James, you know what? I'm not a LeBron James hater. Some people may think I am. I respect his game. He's one of the greatest of all time. He's not the greatest of all time. But when you see him put that movie together, he wears the number 23 for a reason. He emulates Michael Jordan. He wants to be like Michael Jordan. The movie is his legacy. It's a new legacy.
It's a bad one. Because he's wearing number 6. He's wearing number 6 in the movie, and he's wearing number 6 next year with the Lakers. But yeah, this is a kids movie, and it's a kids movie, and it was terrible. I mean, just because it was a kids movie doesn't make it good. It was terrible, and it's not terrible just because of LeBron. I mean, LeBron is what he is. He's a basketball player. I mean, you're not expecting him to be getting an Academy Award for this movie, but the movie itself is just absolutely atrocious. And there you have it.
Don Cheadle. Just wrong.
No, he was good. He was good at it, though. I mean, that dude's good. He's good in everything. That dude's fantastic. But this was just a bad movie.
Don Cheadle is one of those guys that does everything. Like, he does nothing wrong. Like, hey, Don Cheadle, we want you to play the role of Eddy Cool from the Sports Bros Podcast. And see, he can't mess it up. But there's only one Eddy Cool of the Sports Bros Podcast. Only one me. It would take a lot. It would take a lot of makeup
for Don Cheadle to get that forehead if he's gonna be Eddy Cool in the movie.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, we starting off hot already.
Listen to Denzel Washington here.
I'm just saying,
my man, you shouldn't say those things about me, my man. You just shouldn't do that. But enough of my horrible Denzel Washington impersonation and B Live's old tired played out Eddy Cool big forehead jokes. Let's move into some stuff with some relevance. All right. The NBA Finals. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The series is 3-2, and the Milwaukee Bucks lead. They have won 3 straight, and the Suns are trending downward. And Game 6 is tonight. Of course, you know today is Tuesday because you know why we say it's tonight. But anyways, the question I pose you, sports brizzos, is it over and done with for the Suns? Is there any coming back, or is this it? What do you think, Scottie D?
Well, I don't think it's over with, but I kind of do. I mean, I say that meaning that I won't be surprised if Phoenix digs down and wins a game and forces a Game 7. But do I think it's going to happen? No, I don't. I think Milwaukee has asserted themselves as the better team, and a lot of that has to do with not just Giannis, who's playing out of his mind, fantastic right now, but his 2 and 3 guys, Middleton and Drew Holiday. Those guys, I've cited them in the past and criticized them for being inconsistent, and they've been consistently good in this playoffs. And I think Giannis is a better NBA player overall now than he was 3 weeks ago. I feel like he's actually getting better in these playoffs and in this final. And if you think about it, guys, Phoenix won the first 2 games, then slid off 3 games. But Giannis in Game 1 was coming off of inactivity and a really bad leg injury that we didn't even know if he'd be playing in these finals. I think at this point, Milwaukee has gone in there, weathered the storm of they went through the most difficult part, and that was going back on the road in Game 5, down big, and they came back. And then whenever Phoenix, they'd seen down and out, they fought back, and when they had a chance, Drew Holiday stepped up, made up what I think is probably going to be considered the signature play of this series when he steals the ball from Booker. And then when I think he's rushing to the corner to slow things down, wait to take a foul and make his free throws, his giant stone says, nah, I'm throwing this thing up to Giannis and on an alley-oop. And that was fantastic. And I jumped up off the bed and was yelling when that happened. And I think that's going to be like their, moment like where LeBron had the block against Golden State a few years ago. And, different times through the years, there's moments that you remember from championship runs. I think that's the one. And I think at this point, I think Milwaukee knows they're so close to it that they're just going to step on the gas. What say you, B-Live?
Where has Chris Paul gone? Where can he be? Chris Paul was the biggest catalyst that drove Phoenix to these finals. And he has literally disappeared almost to the tune of where he's a liability when he's on the court. Like it's one of those things where, yeah, it's so unfortunate because it's one of those things where I was rooting for him. I really was rooting for him. Then he went up 2-0. I was like, this is finally Chris Paul's time. Even though he didn't do well in Game 1 or Game 2. I mean, Game 1 he was good. Game 2. He did all right. Game 3, 4, and 5, I don't know where it has not been pretty. And I think Milwaukee made that adjustment because they did not adjust in Game 1 or Game 2 for Chris Paul. They let Chris Paul just do whatever he wanted to. And then you saw the switch, you saw the change, you saw the crowd, and then you literally they made the adjustments that they needed, and they haven't stopped since. And so it ends up being, and now, like I said, that 3-headed monster with Giannis, Drew Holiday, and Mr. $190 million man, Chris Middleton, he's earning every cent right now. And so it's just like, I knew Game 5 was going to be pivotal. And like, I just saw the pendulum swing. And we're at this point now, Milwaukee Bucks in 6. That was exactly what they were chanting after Game 4. And it's looking very, very true. Suns was riding that hot Suns and 4 little chant they had, and fans beating up other fans, and it was fun. It was fun while it lasted. But
do you think Chris Paul is struggling because of the defense that he's facing with Holiday, or do you think maybe he's just kind of running out of gas? Because this has been kind of a short season and an unusual season. Maybe he's hurt and we don't know it yet. We'll find out, in a week or two that something's wrong. I don't know. Or do you just think it's just great defensive play that's bothering him?
Go ahead, Eddie. Cool. My bad. You here too. I'm just a co-host.
I'm here too. Yeah, I'm here too. Well, Well, if you ask me, I think it's a combination of both. It's just with Chris Paul playing real hard, during the previous series, like you said, Scottie D, after 16 years, that old engine don't run like it used to, so he just may be running out of gas. And then with the Bucks' ability to adjust on defense, they're coming at him different. So what is it? Not game 5, but was it game 4? He had 10 points, right?
Yeah, I think they were late too. I think he had like 2 at halftime.
Yeah, they were 10 points, and like a crucial play that I think the Suns had won, but the crucial play that he made was like the closing seconds of the game. He going down court, crossing people up, trying to be cute, turns the ball over.
Yeah,
and then that looks very identical the next night with Devin Booker down there trying to be cute, get stuck in the paint. You got 3 Bucks swarming him in the paint. He can't kick the ball out, and then that's what happens when Drew Holiday steals the ball and lobbed it to Giannis. So it might be he might be running out of gas. What say you, Be Live?
I agree. The adjustment that Milwaukee's made, combined with just the wear and tear and the toll, I'm going to attribute it more to Milwaukee's adjustment because it's again, at the end of the day, these are professional athletes. And you got to dig deep. I don't care what you've been going through. This is it. You lay it all on the table, and especially if you're Chris Paul, I just shoot. You gotta have an extra engine. You gotta have some of that Michael's secret juice to make.
Yeah.
So
but he also didn't he missed a couple games early in the postseason too, where he was hurt, correct?
It was the Western Conference Finals. He missed the first 2 games because of COVID.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's what it was because of COVID. So he had a couple extra days, to get legs under him. I don't think he's running out of gas as much. I just think it's good defense that's messing with him more than anything. Like I said, unless we find out later that he has like a strain or sprain or something that we weren't, we're not being made aware of. I just think that Milwaukee I feel like they want it more and they're more ready for this moment. I think overall that they're seizing this opportunity more than anything.
See, here's the thing. I disagree with that. I think Phoenix wants it, but Milwaukee's more talented. I just really
makes sense.
I think Milwaukee's more. Yeah, I think Milwaukee's just more talented. And
because at this point, you're right. Because right now they're getting scoring from Booker, and they're not getting much past that.
Right.
And Milwaukee is. So yeah. Go ahead.
Giannis, there was a comment that was made during I think it was game 4 or whatever, where in past postseasons, Giannis was trying to be cute. He was trying to be distributor, shooting 3-pointers and everything, doing all this other stuff. This is the Giannis that we need right here, right now, where put me in the paint, Euro step, every one of his baskets are from 5 feet.
Yeah.
And there's nobody that can stop him. There's nobody on that floor that can stop him. And so it's just,
and he knows it.
That's one thing I am glad about. Giannis is really showing everybody that he is very tough to be stopped. 2-time MVP, most likely going to be the NBA Finals MVP. The way it looks, it's just, the Greek freak, Bucks in 6. Yes, sir.
Yeah. The scary thing about Giannis is, like I said, I think he's improving right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, he still has a lot of room to improve as a shooter, as a free throw shooter. I mean, he's getting better and better. I mean, sky's the limit for this guy. He's not, I think at some point we're going to look back and say, man, he was still on the rise, still learning the game, so to speak. So, but yeah, I mean, with 2 MVPs and now we are putting the cart, in front of the horse just a little bit because there's still a game 6 to play, but I still think that, Milwaukee's got their foot on their throats, and I don't think they're going to let up at this point.
Yeah, that alley-oop was symbolic. I'm like, well, like you said, we'll remember this one for years down the road. And so, fellas, let's get ready for game 6. And speaking of getting ready, I don't think these guys are ready at all. But then again, I don't know what in the hell is going on with Team USA basketball. All right, so here we go. We got Bradley Beal. He's going to miss Tokyo for health and safety reasons. Understand that. They were trying out Kevin Love, but he said, I'm just going to go ahead and withdraw. And recently, the USA lost to Australia and Nigeria, and they finally got a win. They beat Spain, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yes, they beat Spain. Fellas, what in all the blue hell is going on with Team USA basketball? Be like, what happened? What's going on?
All right. The two different things are happening right now. They're putting together a makeshift team that's never really played together before. That's one thing, and you got to have some type of chemistry and continuity. These 2 points I'm going to make are one and the same, pretty much. They got to have chemistry and continuity, but their top players on their team, on the USA team, ISO, 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 another ISO player, another ISO. So I think I was watching the highlights and just bits and pieces from the games. I haven't been able to see the games in their entirety. I'm a busy man. I keep it moving, and there's been no movement. Like, one person has the ball, the other 4 players are standing around waiting for that one player to do his little ISO thing. ISO this, ISO that, because they haven't drawn up any plays because they haven't played together. These teams, and the thing about it is, these teams from other countries and everything, they've been taught fundamentally different. Everything is team ball. So you can see, even though like you have some NBA players that play for these other countries and everything, they play team ball. It's not built on superstars. They play a team game, and that has found its way to be formidable when USA goes in there, and especially this year when it's a makeshift team where, like, I mean, literally, like, I think they've already replaced like 5 or 6 players from the team. Like, I had to look up one of the guys that just replaced Keldon Johnson. He plays for the Spurs. Does anybody know who he is?
I know nothing about him.
Other than him playing for the Spurs, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I had to look him up because I was like, who is him? He made because they did win against Spain, so they ended their losing streak. So there's a good sign there. Ricky Rubio siding for Spain and Marc Gasol. I was like, okay, all right, I ain't heard Ricky Rubio in a while. But again, we shall see. But literally what it is that they don't know how to play team ball. And Olympics, playing against other countries, you got to know how to play team ball. You got to have some movement off the ball, set screens, some passing, something, help. It can't be just ISO. That's what I see. Scottie D, yeah. You got anything?
No, I mean, I haven't watched any of this yet, but I mean, you're talking about a group of guys here who just shut it down for the season. Many of them did, and now trying to ramp it back up and trying to beat some of these other professional basketball players with like 3 days practicing. You know, that's all they had, I think, before they lost to Nigeria. And I don't think it's going to be as simple as just flipping on the switch whenever they're playing for something more meaningful. But I do think right now they're probably just not that invested in it. They're not that serious. They're not gelling. Maybe when they get over to Japan, which I think they are already heading that way, if I'm not mistaken, because I saw that Zach LaVine's not going as of yet because of this COVID protocol stuff. But maybe when they get there and they're in the Olympic Village and they are starting to realize the gravity of the situation, they can step up and take it a little bit more serious. But I don't know that that's going to be the case, because these aren't, many of them aren't our best players in the world. There are some, but you don't have a LeBron and Carmelo Anthony and Chris Paul, guys who've done this many times before. And I don't know. I'm interested to see how this shakes out for them, because it's just like you said, B-Live, it's just a team thrown together. But we'll see, man. We'll see. You would still think we had the talent to do it, but the rest of the world has been catching up for years, which is why the NBA is now more of an international game than ever. But we'll see whenever it's actually the games mean something. We'll see if they have what it takes to step it up.
I think that's what it is. As you mentioned, Scottie D, the world has caught up to to America and the NBA. And the worst thing you could do in the words of Ric Flair is play catch up ball. Y'all play catch up ball. So so we shall see once play begins. The British Open was this weekend, fellas, and guess who won it? No, not Tony Finau. No, we got it wrong with Rory McIlroy. I don't even know where he finished. Collin Morikawa. Yes, remember him? Collin Morikawa. He wins the British Open, and he joins Tiger Woods as the second player to win the Open and the PGA Championship before age 25. I'm like, Be Live. While I was growing up, it was called the British Open, so I'm gonna call it the British Open. So, fellas, Collin Morikawa does it again, Scottie D.
Yeah, I didn't see much of this because I am at the beach here and with my family, and this is the hardest of the majors to watch because it's on a different time than us. These guys are playing in the wee hours of the morning when most of us are not up and at them yet. But I was watching thinking Louis Oosthuizen might finally close the deal, and he shot one over on the final round. So again, his quest for a second major didn't happen for him. And at the beginning of the season, I said Jordan Spieth might have a chance this year to get back in the hunt in these major championships, and he finished 2 away. So I think Jordan Spieth is now getting close enough where he's going to be relevant in major championships on a regular basis. Guys, remember last year when we watched the PGA Championship? That was the one in California, and there was no fans out there. And Dustin Johnson had the lead going into the final day, and Collin Morikawa and Cameron Champ with the young guns at the time, and went out and made a great showing. And I remember we talked to us, and I said, I don't think Collin Morikawa is the kind of player that's going to be like a one-hit wonder. I said, I think this kid's game is going to translate to future success. And I didn't necessarily mean I think he's going to start winning a major every single summer, but here it is. It's 2 summers in a row, and this kid's got some hardware. And again, I didn't watch a lot of it. I watched some here and there, short stretches of time. And from what I understand, that this kid putted very well this weekend, and that's usually not the strong part of his game. His iron play is his strong suit. And they just said he was doing it with the flat stick this week. So, hey, there we go. Four majors in the book for 2021. Congratulations, Morikawa, 2 years in a row for the young American.
Yep.
Oh, man. So, yeah. Rory McIlroy, by the way, finished even. So he was 15 strokes behind the leader.
Oh.
So yeah, we was just wrong. We're wrong. Yeah. With him. But yeah, Morikawa, I saw little bits and pieces of the final drawing between Louis Oosthuizen, and yeah, Louis.
He's there seemingly in every major.
Yeah, right. But hey, that's hats off to him. It's one of those beautiful things about golf is that even though you like being in contention week after week after week and just being consistent, Louis, he's gonna be there. Collin Morikawa, as Scotty spoke of, and I remember him speaking of that last year, and like he's coming to form. He's coming to form. I see him at some point in time very soon being the number 1 player in the world. I do see that in him.
Mm-hmm.
That could happen. He's only 24. He's 24 years old.
Still young. Still plenty of time. He got plenty of time.
So yeah, and Jordan Spieth did his thing. Brooks Koepka was up there in the top 10.
He shot 5 under on Sunday. He was I think the best scorer, at least amongst the guys at the top of the leaderboard there last day.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's always going to be a factor too. He's always going to be a factor.
So all we just need the British Open to do is to start later so we can watch it more, because I'm not waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning to watch golf.
No, that's a little bit tough.
Ain't gonna happen.
But speaking of Koepka, did you see him once again throwing shade at Bryson DeChambeau?
Boy.
Yeah, so DeChambeau goes out after the first round and says, I hate my driver. And that made his sponsors crazy. They're so mad. And it looks like he had a bad day. Actually, I think he was like right around even par 1. It wasn't like a terrible day, but he was unhappy. And then I think the next day, Koepka had a good day out there. They asked him how he felt. He said, I loved my driver. So again, those little digs between those guys continue to go on. It seems like Koepka just ain't going to leave this alone with this DeChambeau situation.
You know what? Let's go ahead and get these guys in like the match. Was it the match play that they recently had with Brady and Rogers and Mickelson and
Phil
and Phil? Let's just go ahead and get that. We want to see that because, as Mike Greenberg said, nothing is more golf than 2 guys named Brooks and Bryson fighting. Oh my God! Quote of the year from ESPN's very own Mike Greenberg. Yeah, from Greeny. Yeah, that is ultra funny.
Greeny for the win.
Yeah.
And there was another interview They're constantly interviewing DeChambeau and Koepka about this, and DeChambeau's like, yeah, I'll be fine matched up with him, and shit, I'm here for it. And Koepka said, oh hell no. He's like, he's like, no, I don't don't want it. He's like, it's not even necessary, but. Don't worry about Scottie D. I'll find another pepper point because Lord jeez, there you go stealing again. It's all right. Yes, that was gonna be one of my pepper points about DeChambeau getting mad at his driver. Man, it's hilarious.
You can still talk about it. Nobody was listening to us right there anyway. You can still talk about
it. Oh man, but no, it's hilarious, and honestly, it's got me watching golf more. I do like golf. I'm always good. I'm always here for a good story. This is funny. This is hilarious. Yeah, I'd actually pay money to see them two, in a match. And do something for charity, and just talk trash the whole time. Every hole just.
But just don't hit each other. Them two big boys hit each other, man. I don't want to see it get the violence. Just straight cash money talk. All right. And speaking of something that might have to do with the cash money talk, around this time every year, the NFL and certain networks and executives and everything and GMs and all that and associates, they do a top 10 list of every position. All right. So last week I was able to snag a list. You may have seen my video on our Sports Bros podcast YouTube channel. Check it out on Sports Me as well too. Shout out to the Sports Me team. The top 10 QB list goes as follows. All right. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes. Number 2, Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady 3. Russell Wilson 4. Josh Allen round out the top 5. Matthew Stafford at 6. Dak Prescott 7. Lamar Jackson 8. Justin Herbert at 9. And Kyler Murray at 10. What say you, bros? Did they get it right? Did they get it wrong? Do people need to switch places? What's going on? Let me know something.
Number 1, number 2, number 3, I think they got it right. The rest of this list is hot garbage. Not the players, but just the order. I don't know why Russell Wilson is as high as he is. I mean, what have you done for me lately? Here's the thing. I'll give Tom Brady the number 3 spot because he won the Super Bowl. He's still talented. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's one of those things where, do I think he's the 3rd best quarterback talent-wise in the league right now? No, I don't. But his production, hey, shoot, you know what? I'm okay with it. But somebody help me out.
What's up?
Matt Stafford at number 6. I don't know.
Deshaun Watson on there? Did you say Deshaun Watson's name on there?
Would you see? Can you let me? I was getting there. I was gonna get there.
All roads lead to Dabo, but you got to take a shortcut sometimes.
Jesus. Well,
I'm looking for the list and I don't see it. I was asking for my own personal reference.
Exactly.
Do your thing, Be Live. Go ahead. Don't let me interrupt you. Go ahead.
Matt Stafford, number 6. That's trash. Anyway, I give Justin Herbert a little bit of respect. Russell Wilson shouldn't be number 4. I think Josh Allen, at the end of the day, I switched them around. I put Russell Wilson probably 7th or 8th. I put Lamar Jackson at 5. I'll give Kyler Murray some love at 6. You know what? I could switch around a little bit here and there because Deshaun Watson, again, not being on this list is a travesty. No matter what the dude is done off the field, which I'm 100% still behind his innocence. I said it because it just doesn't make any sense to me. But it is what it is. We're not going to go into that. But that's the reason why he's not on the list is because of off-field issues. Because I still think he's, top 5 quarterback in the league. But yeah, I don't know. Josh Allen, rising star. Justin Herbert, I think he's going to be doing good. I think Lamar Jackson is going to shock a lot of people this year. They keep wanting to. I mean, he was the league MVP 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. That's true. Maybe they're just saying that at the quarterback position because he's a hybrid player, but that's still the quarterback position. I mean, he's dual threat. That's still a quarterback. He's still a quarterback, and he's electrifying. He's Michael Vick reincarnated. Like, he's not as good as Michael Vick, but he's very, very, very close. Very close.
Scottie D,
so,
I'm sorry, be like, Scottie D, what say you about this here top 10 list, man? Who do you think could be moved around? Who don't need to be on here? And what would the money man do?
Well, I think I agree with the top 4 or 5. I think the list is shook up this year because you ordinarily might be looking at Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, and Phillip Rivers as part of that group, and all those vacuumed out of there. So being replaced with rookies. Carson Wentz moving to a new team. You know, he wouldn't have been on it the last couple of years. We don't know how good it's going to be for. No. I mean, he's been down in the low 20s, obviously, the last.
I'm about to say, why is he even getting a mention?
No, I'm just throwing out how the quarterback situation is kind of fluid in the NFL right now. And I didn't, again, I'm not looking at the list, but I think Matt Ryan's name didn't come up, and he's in the past been an MVP, and he's not on that list. I wonder what Trey Duke's thinking with Dak Prescott being in the top 10, you know. I think with some, like, again, some of these guys moving on, maybe he moved up as just a guy that's been a starter for a while. You know, Chicago's got a crazy quarterback situation. The Rams getting Stafford and sending their starter to Detroit. Now Detroit's got a crazy quarterback situation. New England's got a crazy quarterback situation. You know, the Jets have a rookie. Jacksonville's got a rookie. It's just right now, those are probably like the 10 most stable position-wise quarterbacks. Not necessarily the best. This just might not be like the golden year for quarterbacks in the NFL. It's kind of a transition year, so to speak. But I think I like the top 5 the way it is pretty much. I do have I'm big on Josh Allen of Buffalo. I think he's definitely the arrow's pointing up for that kid. And I hope next year we're saying number 2 and 3, that's where Dak belongs, because the Cowboys have just won the Super Bowl. But he's on a prove it year 2 coming off that ankle injury. He's got a bounce back year and a giant contract to go with it. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to watching Hard Knocks on HBO featuring your Dallas Cowboys, America's team, coming up here next month.
No.
Training camp progress.
Stop that. Your team, America's team.
America's team. Your Dallas Cowboys.
Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, Scottie, I made an official executive decision. Scottie D will be here every week with a report of the Hard Knocks featuring the Dallas Cowboys.
You know it.
No, see, wait a minute. See, I did not agree to that.
Uh-oh.
Why do we need that? We don't need weekly reminders of the Dallas Cowboys. We need weekly reminders of Dabo Swinney. That's the thing.
We get that anyway.
I know, because it's something good. And when you speak of rookies in Jacksonville, you speak of the rookie when it comes to my man Trevor Lawrence, and then another great rookie when it comes to my boy ETN, Travis Etienne. Let's go, baby. All roads lead to Dabo. Now, we could talk about Dabo Swinney and the Clemson Tigers every single week.
We do. We're not going to forget about your Uncle Dabo, but America's team's got their own show come up here next month. So we're all looking forward to it. The country is ready to move on for that.
Is it done? Is it done?
Yeah, let's talk about something. Let's move on.
Is it done? Speaking of moving on, speaking of a topic that we like every week, fellas, guess what time it is?
What time is it, Eddy? Cool.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. It is time for our favorite portion of the show, the Choices of the Voices section. And with that being said, hey, yo, button.
Yo, button.
Hit it. Yeah, just like that.
Yes, sir.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the Choices of the Voices.
Well, you heard the woman. It is time once again for our favorite portion of the show, the Choices of the Voices. Man, you know how we do it over here. Scottie D asks the questions, and the listeners give the answers. We give our answers, and we have some good old, clean-hearted, kind fun. Whatever I said don't make no sense, but you get what I mean. But once again, Miss Button, she ain't got to never lie about it. It's been 116 plus episodes. She has no rhyme or reason to lie about our favorite portion of the Choices of the voices. And with that being said, Scottie D, what's the question for this week's Choices of the Voices?
Well, I'm getting excited for the Olympics. So last week I asked our listeners to cite some of their favorite memorable Olympic moments of the Summer Olympics in years past. And we did get a couple very interesting and fun replies here, Eddie Cole, if you're looking at what I'm looking at.
All right, got a few replies here. This week we had a personal request for Trey Dizzle, but Trey Dizzle he's in the Facebook pokey as of right now.
He is out. He said something that actually wasn't even that bad, but you know how the Zuckerberg mafia is right now with everybody. And Matty Ice, once again, suffering the same fate. Matty Ice can't stay out of trouble on Facebook. In real life, Matty Ice is like never in trouble. On Facebook, he's like public enemy number one to the Facebook police. So anyway, so let's talk about what we did get here, Eddie Cool.
They're in that dadgum Facebook pokey. All right, here we go. We got the Hall of Famer, Uncle Max, who Scottie D saw this past weekend. He says, I remember listening to the radio when Jesse Owens won 4 gold medals in track to embarrass the Third Reich.
Now, this one was for you, B-Live. He actually put this one up on his TV because I believe those Olympics were in, the 30s?
Yes, 1936.
So Uncle Max obviously was not sitting around listening to that. That one was for you, B-Live. He told me he loves putting it on a tee for you and let you swing away from time to time. So that was a great answer there, Uncle Max. We greatly appreciate that one.
Our resident historian with jabs of his own, man. I love it. I absolutely love it. But yeah, Jesse Owens still was a great Olympic story. So I'll allow it.
All right.
All right. So that's Jesse Owens winning against Germany, the Third Reich. I was like, what is the Third Reich? And I just so happened to be, I binge watched a series on Netflix called How to Be a Tyrant. Yeah. If you're into Netflix and learning about, the exploits of
Hitler,
Muammar Gaddafi, Stalin, those cats in Korea. I don't know who is who, but that's a very interesting watch. You'll learn a lot, but just don't turn into a tyrant. All right, please just don't do it because it winds up being ugly for some people. All right, so here we go. We got the best name in the game, JoJo Comfort. He says in 1988 in Seoul, Flojo took the gold in the 100 and 200 meters. If I recall correctly, she set the world records in both races that still stand to this day. Flojo making it do what it do.
Yeah, she became like a national celebrity back around that time. And I think, ironically enough, when we'll get more into this as this segment goes along, she was being looked at as under suspicion for human growth hormone, or, performance enhancers. And I think she faced that down and came up clean, but she was a stellar athlete and gone way too soon.
Oh, entirely too soon, man. There's a whole generation that don't know about Flojo. I think there's going to be a biopic coming out pretty soon, and Tiffany Haddish has been pegged to play the role of Florence Griffith Joyner. Can't wait for that. All right. Let's see who we got next. We got Dave Romito. He said Ben Johnson. That's the dude from Canada, right?
Yeah, that was the one that in that same Olympics, he's the one that beat Carl Lewis in the 100-meter dash and 100-yard dash, whatever. And later had his gold medal taken away for testing positive for performance enhancers.
Yep. Hey man, this that's what happens, man. Hey, you get popped. Give us the medals. All right, JR. He says Vince Carter and that dunk over that 7-foot guy, the French guy. What's his name? Frederick Weiss.
I don't know, but the picture that B-Live put up shows that. I mean, he forever posterized that guy. That was fantastic.
And yeah, Frederick Weiss.
Yes.
Yes. They don't have the W sound. We're the only ones that have a W sound in the world. but yeah. JR, excellent freaking answer, because immortalized that right there. I think that took Vince Carter from being a U.S. star to being a worldwide phenomenon. Like just because I went back and I actually watch the video like of real time when he did that, and just to hear the crowd's reaction. And then when they replayed it again, they're still like they were. I think it was a timeout after that, and then they were replaying it on the screen in the arena, and you could hear the crowd's reaction again. They were struck. They were like, "Did that just happen? Where? How? What?" Yeah. I mean, he cleared them in real, like you see this in dunk competitions where it's planned and you put somebody in place, but he cleared a 7-foot guy. Does all the man Frederick Weiss? Oh boy, yeah.
Just look at that picture. How far away he is from the rim still, and he's still like elevating as he's going up, and his crotch is sailing over that guy's head. I mean, that was that was one of those ones that I don't remember where those Olympics were. I feel like maybe that was the Sydney Olympics.
Yes, that was.
I think it might have been, and that wasn't conducive to our time frame. So that was one of those ones I didn't watch that game live. I saw the next day when how the Olympics always have like their recap shows and show you events of the previous night. And I remember watching that thing. Oh my gosh, that's insane. That's Vinsanity is what that was. But
exactly.
Yep, Vinsanity at its height. If you notice in that same picture, fellas, Vince was growing his hair out. Vince had a full-fledged TWA, had a baby teeny weeny afro going on. I mean, because and ever since then, Vince cut his hair bald. Had a ball cut. But I don't know, man. Something about that afro, something about that magic of the teeny weeny afro, and poor Frederick Weiss, poor fella. And the thing about it is, like, does anybody know what happened to Frederick Weiss? Don't think so. No, don't have no idea.
Never to have been seen again.
Yeah, that man's been on a milk carton for the past 20 years. Have you seen me? We've seen you on the highlights on YouTube. But other than that, recently, nah, we ain't seen you, player. All right, Amanda Dalton. She's back again. Hey, Amanda, how you doing? Classmate of mine. She said, mine will be the 1996 Olympics with Kerry Strug and the vault that led to gold. Yes, that was a good one. I think Scottie D, was that a picture on the choice of the voices for this week?
Yeah, and she was, I forget what she sprained her ankle or something during that competition and was competing injured, and then the old coach, his name is escaping me.
Bella
Caroli, that's it. Yeah, he carried her around there. So so I had that picture, and I had a picture of Muhammad Ali up from lighting the torch at the '96 Olympics in Atlanta, and then I had a picture of the Dream Team with Michael Jordan and Pippen and Clyde Drexler in that picture. That was from the '92 Olympics in Seoul. Just some of the more memorable Olympics of my lifetime anyway.
You remember when Michael Jordan did this?
Yeah, the cover was covering Reebok. Is that what it was? I think.
Yeah, because he was a Nike dude. He was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. He used the flag, right? Was the flag he used?
Yeah, there's a couple of the guys that did that, I believe. But yeah. Yep. Oh, Michael.
Yeah. Michael Jordan. Scottie D, did I get all the choices of the voices? Did I miss anybody?
I think you got all the ones that I can see. If we skipped anybody, all apologies, but I believe that we got everybody who racked it up. I kind of put this up at a weird time of day. I think I did it like through the night this past weekend. It may not have caught everybody's eye. And again, half of our listeners are in Facebook jail, so there's that.
Locked up, they won't let me out. No, they won't let me out.
Man. It's one of those things where maybe they're taking this penalty box thing that we do a little bit too seriously.
Yeah.
Yay.
So, evidently.
Yeah, over here it's a running joke, but Mark Zuckerberg's like, nah, we for real with this play. We for real with this. Yeah, with that being said, Be Live, what's your favorite moment of the Olympics?
I have a couple, but and I've also noticed a trend. So I got to root for US of A, but I'm gonna say my US moment and then my favorite moment. My US moment, Michael Phelps. Come on. This dude, I mean, he's a shark in that water. And just to see him dominate over and over and over and over again, and then come to the wonderful state of South Carolina and light him a good one. Come on, man, that's funny to me. He was in Colombia. Oh my God. But yeah, Michael Phelps, USA, man. All the gold, definitely. But my all-time favorite moment, though, it's just I mentioned it last week too. Usain Bolt is just stupid fast. It doesn't even make any sense how fast that dude is. Like, is he competing in this year's Olympics? Or I don't know, because he's got to be up in age at this point in time. So I
think
don't know.
He's not. I don't think he is. I don't think he's competing any longer. But I may be wrong. I mean, I'm not gonna. I need like a Tony Reality to fact check me. But
yeah,
I'm not 100%. But I don't think he is.
Gotcha.
Yep. Then on top of that, he's doing Subway commercials. Him and Tom Brady and Steph Curry and yeah, Subway commercials. That's where we at now. Subway commercials.
Yeah. Michael Phelps, US of A. The one thing I would say is swimming and track and field. They're just fast races. They're like, it's one of those things under a minute for like most of your swimming races. The relays are something I like to watch because in a minute it's over with. And especially the 100-meter dash in track and field, that's 11 seconds. So all this hype, all this build up to have 8-9 guys on the line, pow, 1,000, 2 1,000, 10 1,000, the race is over with. So there's so much hype behind it. So that, and for Usain Bolt to do it in 9.58 seconds is just ridiculous. Yeah. I think the next closest is like 9.79 by anybody else. Like, so it's yeah. There you go. Scottie D, Eddy Cool, whoever, I don't know. Somebody take this over.
Scottie D,
I forgot what we were doing.
Scottie D, what you got, man?
Well, I'm going to kind of reference a couple that have already been mentioned, and I agree with the Michael Phelps one because I think it was the 2008 Olympics when I was at Overtime, the sports bar that we were all familiar with here on the show. But you know, when you're in a sports bar that's full of people, there's nothing like that kind of excitement. Everybody's watching the same event, whether it's the Super Bowl or March Madness, what have you. But usually you have people rooting for different things. And I remember when Michael Phelps was going for that gold, that I think he was trying to get 8 in 1 year and break Mark Spitz's record. And we had a full house there for the summertime that were all rooting for him, and the whole place was cheering when they showed the score on the, you know, the times on the scoreboard that he had done it. And so that was a very, very exciting, cool moment. And getting back to the Ben Johnson, Carl Lewis thing, I can remember as a teenager in 1988 watching them get ready to go against one another. Carl Lewis had been the gold standard of sprinting here for the United States. And when he got in there and it was like him versus Ben Johnson had beaten him a couple of times in other events, you know, never faced each other in the Olympics. And I can remember there was a thing where Carl Lewis was suspicious that something was going on because other guys were sort of catching up to him in his prime. And Ben Johnson takes off and it wasn't even that close of a race, and him putting his hand and fist in the air. And I'm thinking, man, that was incredible how fast that was, only to find out just days later that Ben Johnson had in fact cheated. And also in that same Olympics, the 1988 Seoul Olympics, again, I was in high school, and I can remember being at a friend's house watching Roy Jones Jr. box and getting robbed blatantly of a gold medal, and the announcer saying something is rotten in Seoul, South Korea here tonight, folks, because Roy Jones Jr. didn't get his. It was a travesty that he had easily won his fight for the gold medal and didn't receive his just due. So there's a lot you could go on. I'm trying to limit my answers to things I can specifically remember watching. I mean, we all remember the era of the dream team, you know, leading up to and getting into the Olympics, but nothing really stands out to me as specific memories about that because they were just blowing everybody away. Yep. There wasn't like a memorable moment like we had in the NBA finals that we talked about earlier. You know, this is just, these guys were just knocking everybody out of the park. Like the memorable stuff you were hearing about, stuff going off the court, Charles Barkley messing with people, and, you know, again, Jordan with the draping the flag. And so, but as far as like some events I can specifically remember, those are a couple that I wanted to share with you. Eddy Cool, what do you got here, buddy?
Let's see. I'm with B-Lab. Usain Bolt just running all up and down, just running past, through, beside, over, and around everybody. Like, to sit there and watch a man be so fast to cover a short amount of distance in a extremely short amount of time
insane.
Was breathtaking. It was captivating. I would sit there many nights and I was like, is it really humanly possible? What do they do down there in Jamaica? Well, what is his diet? Like, what is going on? Okay, he tall, he's slender. His last name is Bolt. This is just, it was just
the perfect name.
Yeah,
perfect name.
Yeah, like he could have been Johnny Smith. Well, I don't fast Johnny Smith, but it's like, yo, Usain Bolt, like Usain is stronger than Bolt. Like, he was like, this man is just incredibly fast, and I would just sit there and I would just watch, just look at him like this. He fast for no reason fast. Like I'm saying, I don't know what his training regimen was in Jamaica. I don't know if he got in contact with a Cool Runnings team and they made things happen with the Jamaican bobsled team. He was just ridiculously fast. And then as B-Live mentioned, before he took his trip to Colombia and got Michael Phelps. Another joker, a human fish. He just swimming over, through, around, up and down everybody, collecting gold medals. Just watching two dominant athletes in the summer games, Michael Phelps and Usain Bolt, just doing what they do. Those are some of my favorite memories. And yeah, you got Vince Carter just doing what he did, all against poor Frederick Weiss. And thing about it is, I think is that every 4 summers, Frederick Weiss is trending. He might be trending this year too.
Poor guy.
Yeah, he might be trending. If anybody knows what he's doing, let us know in the comment section. And because
we'll have him on the show.
Who knows, man? He might have to get a translator, but with Zoom, anything is possible. We just might have Frederick Weiss on the show. All right, shout out to Uncle Max, Joe Comfort, Dave Ramito, JR, and Amanda for their participation in this week's Choices of the Voices. Scottie D, what's on tap for next week?
All right, we're going to stick one more week into this Olympic theme, and then we'll move on to cereals or cookies or something else. But one more time, we're going to do an Olympic topic, and just, again, sticking to the Summer Olympics, and ask, who's your favorite Olympian that you've ever watched compete? Favorite Summer Olympics Olympian, and will give us something to talk about next week. They're really cool.
Yep, favorite Olympians. You got a long list to choose from, but hey, choose from them. Name them all if you want to. We don't care. I don't know.
Slow down, because if you say that, JR gonna have 15 answers next week.
Just like he had like the little ugly dudes. Tyrone Hill, Sam Cassell, Antonio Davis. I'm like, we just said one. You gave us like Robert Parrish with his tough looking self in the face.
But then again, I was guilty. I had 8, so.
Yeah, hey, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he just have a birthday? Should we give a happy belated to
Absolutely. JR? Yeah. Yep, he is 39 going on 50.
All right. Happy birthday, JR.
And somebody AARP, and what's the guy named Hector Rodriguez called him or something like that?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I called him on his birthday and it went to voicemail, and I was like, you know what, screw it. Off the dome, I was like, yes, I'm calling on behalf of AARP. I'm an agent with them. My name is Hector Rodriguez, and I wanted to discuss your options with our company. And I just, at that point in time, I busted out laughing. But yeah, old man JR speaks. Love ya, bruh. And yes, and for those that are watching on YouTube, after you saw all of my gray, I immediately went to the restroom and because it was getting out of control. But
it's
I know it's coming back. I don't mind it coming back, but it was out of control. It was just everywhere.
I'm at the point now. I'm just going to embrace the gray years of wisdom that I bestow upon these young bucks, man. Because I got to talk to the youngins. Got to talk to them.
Yeah. And just a quick note: Usain Bolt did retire in 2017 after the London World Championships. He pulled a hamstring during that competition. So, pow! And then he was like, yep, that'll do it. I'm good. Trust me, I'm
got to stretch, Usain. Got to stretch.
Like I didn't stretch when I was running on the beach. Pow!
Ah.
I was not moving nowhere near as fast as Usain Bolt, by the way. Boy.
Yeah. Usain Bolt is like, hey man, I need. What was the Sports Center commercial where he clocked in and clocked out like real quick? Hey, I'm going to work. Clock. All right, I'm going home. Like,
yeah,
that is nuts. That is crazy. Tune in next week for another edition of the Choices of the Voices. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. You just imagine this is a torch. Even though it's a brush, it's a torch. All right, y'all. See y'all next week for the Choices of the Voices.
Okay, boys, let's bring it home with a round of pepper.
Well, you heard the woman. It's time for us to go home and get the hell up out of here. But before we get up out of here, and before Scottie D dominates the Cats at Mayday Golf and putt-putt and the Hawaiian Rumble putt-putt golf course in North Myrtle Beach, we're going to give you a round of pepper. You know how we do it. 3 topics, rapid fire style, kind of, sort of, not really. We're here to engage, enlighten, and entertain for you. And with that being said, I'll go first, all right? On this day in history, back in 1858, the first fee ever was charged to see a professional baseball game. Fellas, you had any idea how much it cost to get in the baseball game back in 1858?
I'd like to know.
A nickel.
No. 50 cents. Yep. 50
I feel like that's expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would have to ask Uncle Max.
Oh, wow. Wow. You were sitting on that one.
No, this is what happened.
Wow.
When Eddy Cool said, he said back in 1858, the first thing that popped up in my head is that Uncle Max was born.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Uncle Max is all love over here. It's all love over here.
No, it's mostly love, not all love.
Scott started it. You started with your choice of the voices answer. So
can I go now that you're done showing your arrogance to our elder?
Oh, we got some more arrogance. Be live with the arrogance promos coming soon.
So arrogant towards our older audience.
A la Rick Martel. Yeah. On that day in history, the first ever fee was charged. It was 50 cents to get into the game. And New York beats Brooklyn 22-18. Was it a baseball game or a football game? I don't know. Wow. Yeah. Over to you, Scottie D.
All right, I want to give a little love, a little shout out to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who was named the All-Star Game MVP last week at age 22. He was the youngest ever. Had also a good showing in the home run derby, coming up short against Pete Alonso of the Mets, who won that one. And he was also the first Blue Jay to win the All-Star Game MVP. Now that we got that out of the way, it's time to start concentrating on our series home stretch of baseball. Now we got the trade deadline coming up here in a couple of weeks, but Vlad Jr. is a guy that I'm rooting for, man. I like this kid. So congratulations to him on All-Star Game MVP. Be live, over to you.
Vladdy, he a bad man just like his daddy.
Pete Alonso was ridiculous during the home run derby, though. Ridiculous with it.
2 times.
35 home runs in the first round, by the way. Wow. That was crazy. We spoke of it earlier. Scottie D tried to spoil it, but you know what? It is. I'm a pepper it anyway, because what I think is funnier, not what Bryson DeChambeau said about his driver, that it sucks. And he really was just talking about his he couldn't hit it down the center, and he said the driver sucks. It just wasn't doing what he wanted it to do, whatever. But he was angry in the heat of the moment. But the person that was really got his panties in a wad was was Ben Showman. He's a tour operations manager for Cobra Golf that makes the driver, I do believe. And he said it's just really, really painful when he says something that stupid. And he speaks of DeChambeau. He's like, he has never really been happy ever Like it's very rare when he's happy. I'm like, ooh,
wow,
yeah,
sauce, a little hot sauce.
And then he continued. He said, I know if I got him cornered right now and said, what the hell did you say that for? He would say that he was mad. He really didn't mean to say it that harshly. He knows how much everyone bends over backwards for him, but it's still not cool. Wow. So the comments afterwards, and then of course, jug jab jab. Brooks Koepka come in like, I love my driver. Love it, love it, love it. Eddy cool. Bing, the ball.
Bing.
You hear that sound? That sounds like some furniture moving. Yeah. That sounds like some furniture moving between DeChambeau and that guy. Furniture moving. Yeah, when you hear that, that means two grown folks are fighting, some furniture moving. That means you get your butt out the way. All right. And with that being said, moving on to my second pepper point, we talked about the third ranked quarterback according to the NFL top 10 list, comprised by some Dan Orlovsky and some executives and all them other cats. Tom, Edward, Patrick, Carmichael, Fitzgerald, Brady the third, right? Reports came out and said that he played last season, that he won the Super Bowl with last season. He played with a torn MCL during the season. All right. It was in his left knee, and he injured it during his last season in New England, and it progressively got worse during his first season with Tampa Bay. All right. Now, Tampa Bay quarterback coach Clyde Christensen said he wasn't 100% last year. And then the day after the Super Bowl, the morning after, Brady told Christensen, he said, hey, I'm going to get my knee fixed up and I'm going to be better next year. And you're going to be excited about that. So you won a Super Bowl. You'll be 59 years old. You got drunk for the first time on TV in front of everybody. The Super Bowl MVP. You're living life. And he threw for 40 touchdowns last year. And he threw for 40 touchdowns on a
bad wheel.
On a bad wheel. The NFL is in trouble. That's all I got to say. The NFL is in trouble with Tom, Edward, Patrick, Carmichael, Joshua, Fitzgerald, Brady the third. When he gets back at full 100%, we in trouble. That's all I got to say. We in damn trouble. Over to you, Scottie D. We're in trouble.
Speaking of trouble, I'm going to mention my favorite Major League Baseball team, none other than the Pittsburgh Pirates, who had two players start in the All-Star game last week, in Adam Frazier and Brian Reynolds, two All-Stars, at least one of which will be wearing a different uniform here at the start of this next month. Anyway, so as usual, I'm watching the Buccos lose the other night, and they are down 6-0, you know, as they often are. They're down 6-0 on Saturday night. And lo and behold, I pull up the box score, and they have won the game. They scored 5 runs in the bottom of the 8th, and a walk-off grand slam in the bottom of the 9th to defeat the first-place Mets in dramatic fashion. And all was right in the world. So much to the point that they carried the momentum into Sunday and scored 6 in the first inning, including a very strange play, but they put a 6-spot up in inning number 1 of the next game, only to lose that game 7-6. Let's go, Bucks. Even Steven, baby. It all works out in the end. Be live. Over to you.
So who runs it down the so who runs it down their leg the worst? The Phoenix Suns or the Pittsburgh Pirates?
Oh, I'm telling you, man. Hey, we got a number 1 pick. We drafted a catcher in the first round the other day and signed him already. So I can't wait for 2025. Be live. Over to you.
He'll be ready tomorrow. Go ahead, be live.
I'm crying. I'm crying because every time Scottie D talks about his Pittsburgh Pirates, I hear the pain. I hear so much pain. Oh man! Speaking of pain, everybody's aware of the fact that Conor McGregor broke his leg in the UFC fight last week. What we were not aware of, possibly, was that he had already suffered. He was suffering with multiple stress fractures in the leg, which could have led to it. Just say, you know what? I'm just go ahead and snap now because I'm already fractured. But yeah, according to Conor McGregor. He says, I was injured going into the fight. People ask me when was the leg broke and what time did the leg break? Ask Dana White. Ask the UFC. Ask Dr. Davidson, the head doctor of the UFC. They knew I had stress fractures in my leg going into that cage. It was debated about pulling the thing out, which I believe he was talking pulling the fight. Man, it sounds like some irresponsibility going on, and I guess because it's a big money fight, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. I don't know what goes into these contracts and how much money and all that stuff. But yeah, yeah. All right. So we'll see what stories develop from this.
I don't know. That guy talks a lot. I really want to hear more about that in the future.
Oh, so I'll see if I can update our listeners and our viewers. I'll follow up on that story.
To be continued from that story.
Yeah.
The ball.
Yeah, because we know Conor McGregor shoots that mouth. All right, and third and final pepper point. You remember earlier in the year we talked about Drew Robinson. Drew Robinson was a baseball player who had a bout with mental health last year where he tried to commit suicide and it didn't go through his plan. But in the end result, he wound up losing his eye. I forgot which eye it was, but he wound up losing an eye, only for him to return to the minor league baseball level. And his first few games, he got a couple hits, and one of them wound up being a home run. I guess he had a pretty decent season, but I guess Drew Robinson said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and hang it up. And guess what? The San Francisco Giants, they offered him a job in the front office. Yes, they offered Drew Robinson a job in the front office, and he has to talk about that. He said, I could be more excited to remain in the game that saved my life, which he wrote on a very long Instagram post, so go check it out if you got some time. He goes on to say, while I'm proud of my progress, growth is a continuous journey. For the Giants to believe I can help other players address their emotional well-being more comfortably and gain insight from my lessons learned is truly humbling. This just goes to show that we need more mental health advocates out there in every sport. And hopefully Drew Robinson's addition to the San Francisco Giants, if I'm not mistaken, Uncle Max's San Francisco Giants, who are playing some pretty good baseball, will be the catalyst, will be the starting point, not only in Major League Baseball, but other sports across the other sports, just other sports in general. All right. Over to you, Scottie D.
Excellent. Always bringing that mental health to the forefront, Eddy. Cool.
Thank you.
All right, we had a comeback here in the UFC this past weekend. There was a full card on Saturday night, and Miesha Tate had not fought since I believe 2016, and she made her comeback out of retirement, and she defeated Marion Renault in a third-round knockout. She looked really good, I thought, doing it. She was dominant on the ground. Did pretty well on her feet. Renault retired after the fight. She was 12th ranked, and she was very gracious in defeat. But it's nice to have Cupcake back. I listen to Miesha Tate often on Sirius XM radio, and she's a former victim of Ronda Rousey and former champion. But it's nice to see Miesha Tate back in the mix. And she says, I'm not here just to win a fight. I'm here to win a title. So I look forward to seeing what Miesha Cupcake Tate brings to the table in the UFC in the future. Be Live, over to you. I'm going for a dip in the ocean.
All right. With that being said, my third and final pepper point. If you remember, I am not an advocate of the 12-team college football playoff expansion situation. And I've been very advocate about that. And I said the only way I would accept a 12-team college football playoff is if they allowed the champions of all 10 Division I school conferences and then 2 wild cards. Well, the NCAA and their president, they're starting to see the tides have turned when it comes to the realm of college sports altogether. And Mark Emmert, the president, said the time is right to consider a decentralized and deregulated version of college sports, shifting powers to conferences and campuses, and reconsidering how schools are aligned. It's about time. We've all said that the NCAA does nothing, but they do, especially when it comes to college football, but just get in the way. And now it's the writing's on the wall. And so I'm very curious to see what steps are taken. And part of this is the NCAA's presence in college football altogether. They're making a big push to where the NCAA is not even involved in football at all. They are its own entity when it comes to the conferences and the college football playoff and their committee and everything like that. They don't need the NCAA. They've got it well handled. So Mark Emmert, thanks for nothing, and keep it moving. Yes, sir.
Hey, we need to deregulate this dude. Hey man, you a day late and about $30 short, dude.
Yeah, man, it's like I've been scratching my head for the longest time, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he has a contract with them NCAA. He's making $20 million a year to do what?
Nothing.
I swear.
I can't. You know, while we're on this topic, I can't recall one thing that Mark Emmert has done to solidify his legacy, but just be a mouthpiece.
I still remember when COVID-19 was when everything was shutting down and everything like that, and we were starting to try to rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody is waiting on some type of word from the NCAA that's supposed to be the governing body of collegiate sports, waiting on them to have some type of plan for us to return to sports. Waiting, crickets, waiting. And then the conference presidents, commissioners, they were like, this is what the SEC is going to do. This is what the ACC is going to do.
Yeah.
This is what the Big Ten said. Nope, we're not playing football. Wait a minute, SEC and ACC are playing. Well, we're going to play football.
We're going to play too. Yeah, we don't want to be left out in the cold.
Yeah, Pac-12 said, nope, we're not playing. Oh, shoot. But Big Ten now is playing. We're going to play too.
We're going to play too.
Man, but again, once at the end of the day, they came together, they formulated a plan between the conferences, and then the playoff put together, and we still had a good product.
Yep.
No thanks at all to the governing body of collegiate sports. You got to be kidding me. But yeah, I could talk about this all day and the ineptitude of Mark Emmert. I felt a little Stephen A. Smith this right there in the ineptitude.
But you're right. It's ineptitude. It's kind of like, okay, well, we need you to plan the party. All right, we'll be over here. We need you to plan the party. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Hey man, you know what? We gonna bring the chips. You gonna bring the ice. You gonna bring the cup. Don't you dare bring that nasty potato salad. You bring the chicken wings, and if I see you coming, and Mark Emmert is the guy that come to the cookout with the nasty orange box Flanders hamburgers. All right, don't nobody. You're not needed here. Go ahead, just whatever you're going to do. All right, but we really don't need you at this point. So, Mark Emmert, what are you good for? Nothing. And ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, it's been another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast and another round of Pepper. Be Live. This is episode 117. As you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, the Money Man Scottie D, you can catch him at Hawaiian Rumble Golf Course, right across the street from one of them beachwear stops somewhere in North Beach, South Carolina, or Mayday Golf across from that big nice church and AutoZone in North Beach. I don't know where he's going, but he's going to be playing some putt, some mini golf. Hopefully he can rectify his golf game because we had a conversation last week. It bees that way sometimes. Be Live, you got anything to say before we get up out of here?
Yeah. Katie Ledecky. I wanted to mention her. Another shark in the water. Freaking let's go USA. It's almost Olympics time. I'm here for it. I'm gonna be like, this is gonna be the time I watch NBC, Peacock, USA, all the channels the most is right here for the Olympics. And yes, I'm excited. Is there?
All right. You can catch us on all the Sports Bros podcast related platforms. You can catch us on the Facebook like page, the Sports Bros podcast family group on Facebook. Also, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, we all over the place. You can catch my articles, of course, on the Key on Sports Media. And also you can catch us on the Key on Sports Media KOS Plus podcast premium network, 3 p.m. Wednesday. Yes, 3 p.m. Wednesday. Yes, you can check us out there. Let us know what you think about it. If you're a first-time listener, hey, how you doing? If you're a returning listener, we love you now more than ever. We greatly appreciate it. My appearance on Night Bright Live TV, Be Live. It was funny. It was funny. Be Live was doing
Stan D Germany. That's all I got to say.
Everybody watch out for Stan D Germany. Make sure you're not mixing spam and spaghetti. Oh, my bad. I thought Alexa Bliss put a hex on me. But yes, shout out to Sterling, Mona Lisa, and Big Mike, and everybody that had a chance to check me out, do my thing on Night Bright Live TV. We are working to put it on YouTube, but if you want the link and if you want to watch the raw, uncut version, let me know and I'll drop it in the description section. Be Live. We got a chance to get up out of here and watch some Monday Night Raw tonight. John Cena's coming back. The Money in the Bank pay-per-view turned out to be pretty decent. Yeah, excited. We're no longer in the Thunderdome, thank God. We're no longer.
I want to say I do want to mention that as well, just because we got a little bit of time and Scottie D done ran off. But man, WWE creative right now has to be losing their mind because the heels were getting so much love from the crowd, and I felt bad for like somebody the likes of Natalya and Tamina. They were booing Tamina, and she's supposed to be a face, and they AJ Styles, I think, got the most pop out of everybody, and he is a heel, and he was getting all the love. AJ Styles, like, oh, creators like, wait a minute, hold on, this is not the way we wrote any of this. Stop it. Oh man, it was actually pretty cool to have the crowd back, and also to the you can be fans of both WWE and AEW.
Yes,
you can be fans of both.
God. Yes, you can.
You can. It doesn't have to be like it's really two different products. I think they're both. I think it's good for wrestling. TNA just had Slammiversary, right?
Yep, they had Slammiversary, and last weekend I think Ring of Honor had Best in the World. What a time to be a wrestling fan!
Oh, absolutely. So yeah. Man, oh man, just it was Money in the Bank, WWE, good job. That men's Money in the Bank ladder match was phenomenal. Loved it. Eddy Cool, you probably haven't. Have you watched it yet?
Yep, I've been watching in parts. Right now I'm midway through the Roman Reigns and Edge match. Yeah, I'm halfway through that. Yeah.
So you saw the men's ladder match.
Oh, like, it was great.
I mean, Ricochet, man.
Yeah.
That dude is ridiculous. And it just set off the way they closed out that Money in the Bank ladder match was amazing. Like you just thought it was well put together, big ending from off the ladder. Big E is getting the push that he definitely deserves. So I'm excited for that.
At this point, Big E has nothing left to prove as a singles superstar. It is a matter of time. All right, so since we're here on this topic, as my cup almost spilled, I saw a video where somebody said that Big E needs to have a heel turn. Big E has a lot to prove. This man is a multi-time tag team champion, an intercontinental champion, a former NXT champion, and for the past, 5-6 years, has been a part of the three-man trio as the New Day, and they've been raking in money, merchandise money for the WWE. Okay, and with him running through Sheamus on his way to the Intercontinental title, that was like, hey, he's here for real now. Then on top of that, for them to kind of sort of, cease the New Day as a trio and for him to go on his own and do his own thing and then turn right around and win Money in the Bank, Big E has nothing left to prove. All right? The record speaks for itself. Either you haven't been paying attention or you just don't give a damn. Plain and simple. Plain and simple.
It's one of the things I see. Yeah, I see him as a champion. I honestly, God, I think he's one of his personality doesn't. I don't think it ever needs to really change or be a heel to garner more of what.
He needs to be taken serious. No one takes him serious.
Who is not taking this dude seriously?
Who is we? All right,
right.
Or who are these people that do not take this man serious? Get out here! Come on, man. And like you said, be like. That's why we need to sit back, watch the product, and be grateful for what we have now. We got people back in the stands. I was this close to buying tickets to the Cleveland show for SmackDown, but I found out, Be Live. Here's why I didn't do it.
Oh boy,
half of the show is going to be in the Rocket Mortgage Field House. But the other half of the show, I'm going to spend doing this right here. Looking at the screen, because it's going to be at the Rolling Loud Fest in Miami. Be Live, if I want to look at a screen, I'll stay home and do that for free. Okay, I'll pay a cable bill and I'll do it for a reason. Be Live, let's get up out of here. You ready to go?
Let's get it, bro.
All right, with that being said, and then in closing, do something nice for yourself. And if you can, do something nice for someone else. They'll appreciate it now more than ever. For the Money Man, Scottie D, the Almighty Be Live, this is your boy Eddy Cool, signing off. It's been another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. Goodbye, good night, take care, y'all be good, love each other.
Yes, sir.
And I do not fall out of the chair. Y'all be good.
Whatever.